How did José Martí view the relationship between Cuba and the United States? If you're curious about how José Martí, a key figure in Cuban history, viewed the relationship between Cuba and the United States, you're about to uncover some fascinating insights. Let's delve into Martí's thoughts and experiences to understand his perspective. José Martí was a passionate advocate for Cuban independence, and his views on the United States were complex and multifaceted. On one hand, Martí admired certain aspects of American society. He was impressed by the work ethic and the progressive ideas that characterized the United States. During his time in New York, he observed how hardworking and dynamic American society was, noting that no one stood quietly on the corners, no door was shut an instant, no man was quiet. Despite this admiration, Martí was strongly anti-imperialist and saw the United States as a significant threat to Latin America. He believed that the U.S. posed a danger due to its expansionist policies and its interest in dominating Latin American countries. Martí was particularly concerned about the U.S. intentions regarding Cuba, which he felt were driven by economic interests rather than a genuine concern for the well-being of the Cuban people. He feared that Cuba would become another market for U.S. industrial products, undermining its independence and sovereignty. Martí's experiences in the United States also shaped his views. He criticized the corrupt and elitist nature of U.S. politics, describing election times as having a carnival atmosphere with candidates bribing constituents and elites pulling the political strings behind the scenes. In his writings, Martí often drew parallels between the American Revolution and the Cuban nationalist movement, highlighting the shared ideals of freedom and democracy. However, he also pointed out the differences, particularly the U.S. tendency towards imperialism and the exploitation of other nations. Martí admired U.S. intellectuals like Emerson and Whitman, but critiqued their imperialist leanings, showing a critical distance in his admiration. Martí's vision for Cuba's future was closely tied to its relationship with other Latin American countries rather than the United States. He believed that Cuba's interests lay with its sister nations in Latin America and advocated for modernization and reforms that would help Latin America detach itself from colonial heritage and U.S. influence. In summary, José Martí viewed the relationship between Cuba and the United States with a mix of admiration for American society's work ethic and progressive ideas, but also with a deep-seated distrust of imperialism and its potential to undermine Cuban independence. His writings and actions reflect a nuanced understanding of the complexities between the two nations, driven by his commitment to Cuban liberation and Latin American solidarity.